Greeting to the lecturer. Today I would like to present my assignment 4 for the course BIP 60304 Current Trends in ELT Research. Myself, Janani, daughter of Ayav. The title of my presentation would be Research on English Language Teaching and ICT. Moving on to the content of my presentation. So, my presentation is based on three key points, which are the use of information and communication technology ICT in the English language teaching ELT. Secondly, opportunities provided by ICT in English language teaching in order to improve the learning outcome of pupils in ELT classrooms. And the third one will be focusing on the challenges of integrating ICT in English language teaching ELT that impacts learning outcome of ELT students. As for the introduction, in the 21st century has been seen a tremendous change in education because of the advances in technology, and there is a shift social norms and a focus on student-centered learning. Therefore, in the modern era, a new paradigm in education, especially in ELT teaching, has emerged that places an emphasis on creativity, adaptability, and defying traditional teaching methods. Among the characteristics and ideas that set the 21st century apart are the use of technology in education and the student centered learning and enjoyable learning, according to Okmawati and Tiarina in 2022. However, the COVID 19 pandemic occurred and it actually leads to the shift in online learning. Higher education institutes were compelled to change the way they taught and switching from traditional classroom settings to virtual learning spaces. This modification illustrated how important is it to use internet resources to deliver education in an effective manner. Virtual simulations such as gamified learning modules, interactive presentations, and multimedia resources have all been shown and has been carried out in researchers to show the successful and effectiveness in maintaining pupils' interest and participation. And post pandemic, the use of online resources in education actually marked a paradigm shift in the creation of instructional strategies, and teachers have to learn how to use these digital tools in order to preserve educational continuity. Consequently, the integration of information and communication technology ICT in education has transformed conventional teaching methods by offering innovative ways to enhance learning experiences. Based on the research carried out by Ryan and SC in 2020, it is shown that in the 21st century of learning, ICT becomes one of the proficiencies that pupils need to master in addition to language and also numeracy. Since teaching and learning have moved online in the COVID 19 pandemic era and even post COVID 19 pandemic, ICT integration has become a part of the new norm in education. So, as a result, more research on teachers' practices of ICT use in language learning classrooms is required in order to provide an insight on the roles and the effectiveness of ICT integration in ELT classrooms. And this change is particularly significant where ICT tools provides a range of resources and also interactive platforms for teachers and also pupils. Therefore, this presentation is to show and to critically evaluate the ways in which ICT impacts ICT impacts English teaching and learning outcomes by discussing the opportunities and challenges provided by ICT. Now let's move on to the use of information and communication technology ICT in the English language classroom. Technology is become widely popular because it offers the teachers and also the students a wealth of information. This is especially important for language learning because it teaches the pupils on how to use a range of technological tools, practice grammar and pronounce words correctly, and all of this will help them to write, speak, listen and also to read better. Teachers can use technology in their social and professional and academical lives because it makes life easier and their works to become easier, and also it gives them the access to various types of informations. The use of ICT in education has brought about changes in a number of areas, especially in the pedagogical and the relationship between pupils and teachers, the concept of literacy, and pupils' learning achievement. Teachers and pupils who are solely exposed to conventional teaching method or techniques, they have the need to alter their perspectives on this particular topic, where they actually cater themselves uh, in order to use ICT in their daily life. Moreover, ICT integration improves people's retention and also it increases people's motivation in the classrooms. According to Bhattarai in 2021, and the research carried out by Bhattarai resulted majority of the participants agreed that ICTs are a major factor that motivates the pupils to learn better. They find various ICT devices which leads them to trigger their curiosity that eventually motivates them to learn better on how to use them in addition to apply in their English language learning. And also, in keeping with this idea, the studies participant also employ a variety of inspirational films in order to inspire the pupils. So whenever the teachers let the pupils know that the pupils will be learning using ICT tools, so according to the result, the pupils have the sense of excitement and also motivation. And moreover, ICT is also considered as an aid that actually contributes to the pupils growth of their capability in schools, and by making these enhancements it is seen as an important way to make a progress in both learning and communication of English language capacity. And in the educational process, pupils subject knowledge, technological applications added significantly to participants' relevance, perception of development, and understanding of the topic will eventually lead to the learning outcome of the pupils. To make English language learners to be more successful and less difficult, the tools need to be used with concern, and also constant support and training from the teachers and the instructors in order for them to acquire the language willingly and promotes the language in a more healthy manner. Moreover, recent technological developments and adjustment to instructional strategies have a significant impact on how English is taught. So, according to Zhang 2022, English as a foreign language, primarily considered as EFL, is now taught as English as a second language, ESL, and this shift brought about by technology's significant influence on education, and it is also has affected both traditional and non-traditional learning environment. Now let's move on to the opportunities provided by ICT in English language teaching. Looking at the first opportunity, ICT enables the teachers to create more engaging and varied lesson plans for their students with different needs and learning styles by utilizing various resources. ICT has totally changed the way that English is taught by giving pupils access to a wealth of resources, including multimedia content, online libraries, and digital textbooks. And interactive whiteboards, online discussion forums, and language learning applications are examples of ICT tools that can help pupils learn actively and they can collaborate with their peers. ICT in ELT classrooms also promotes and enhancements for pupils' language proficiency through immersive and interactive experiences. For example, multimedia recording, such as audio recording and videos, help pupils to improve their speaking and listening skills by exposing themselves to real world language use. Furthermore, instant feedback is provided by grammar checkers and also online writing platforms, which helps to improve and to advance writing proficiency among pupils. Similarly, according to the research conducted by Podell in 2022, it is concluded that teachers can provide written comments and feedback to a group of pupils, the entire class, or a single pupil by using ICTs. The researcher also stated that teachers can provide pupils with a plenty of educational resources that will increase their exposure to the English language by integrating ICTs. Correspondingly, teachers can use their learning management systems or email to send their pupils the additional content specific learning resources in order to support pupils' learning. Moving on to the second opportunity provided by ICT in English language learning. ICT in English language instruction is able to increase pupils' motivation and also engagement. Traditional teaching methods frequently involve passive learning, according to South and Laudari in 2003. Conversely, ICT tools offer multimedia rich, interactive content and also provides encouragement for active learning among pupils in order to ensure a positive learning outcome among the pupils. And according to AFIFA in 2020, interactive exercises, videos, and animations are some of examples of multimedia tools that captivate pupils and make learning more enjoyable because motivation is a critical component in language acquisition. So, this kind of engagement is imperative. For instance, educational websites like BBC Learning English and Khan Academy provide interesting video lessons that accommodate various learning preferences of pupils. And these platforms also make difficult concepts easier to understand by using both visual and also audio components in order to explain the concept further. And In addition, game like components are used by gamified learning apps such as Memrise and Duolingo in order to encourage pupils to practice their English on a regular basis. And these tools are actually known for their instant feedback. And Powell in 2022 agreed that with the use of ICTs, teachers can actually draw the attention of the pupils to their presentations. So, using a multimedia projector to combine text, image, motion, sound, and also color can inspire pupils to engage themselves and indulge themselves in learning more often, and also can improve their focus in learning. Moving on to the third opportunity of ICT in English language classroom is ICT promotes peer interaction and also collaborative learning among their peers. Pupils to complete a particular task or in order to solve a problem, they can collaborate in groups or with their peers. It is simpler for pupils to participate in conversation and to debate, to share, to assessing, and to knowledge construction when they have access to ICTs. And pupils also can establish this kind of environment for cooperative activities with the use of ICTs. When pupils are working in groups, tools such as Google Docs, Facebook, Blogs, Skype, Google Docs, and Microsoft Teams and emails are more beneficial. Peoples they can work together in real time on group projects and assignments regardless of where they are physically located by using the mentioned tools just now. Furthermore, this resources actually promotes a collaborative learning environment by assessing these pupils in working together, they editing each other's work and giving feedback to each other. To be particular on digital storytelling application is one of the innovative use of ICT that promotes creativity and critical thinking in language learning. Pupils actually can express their ideas and emotions through a range of communication channels by creating and sharing stories using multimedia tools. So, for instance, digital storytelling, according to Robin, as cited in Ningse and Nikma in 2023, this application helps pupils become more proficient in language learning, and it also provides them a meaningful context in which to use language, and by pushing them to carefully consider how best to communicate their ideas in an effective way. Now, moving on to the challenges of integrating ICT in English language teaching that impacts learning outcome. So, the first challenge would be frequency of technical and infrastructure issues. Portal in 2022 claimed that the result of a study showed that one of the biggest obstacles in order to implement ICT based teaching and learning was the management and development of infrastructure. So, every teacher and pupil who participated in the discussion related their own experiences with slow internet and also inconsistent internet speeds. Another barrier that complicated their teaching and learning process was the erratic supply of electricity. So, subsequently, the majority of the pupils expressed their dissatisfaction with the dimensions of the computer lab as well as the quantity of machines there in the e library. Therefore, they had difficulties regarding the upkeep of the lab's UPS backup system. e-library, keyboard, and mouse. So it became more difficult for them to learn and to use digital tools effectively when there are hardware issues, software bugs, or unstable internet connections. So, technical problems can cause frustration for both teachers and also pupils, which lowers the motivation and engagement of pupils in the teaching and learning process. For example, during an online lesson, pupils may find it difficult to follow along and understand the material if there are disruptions from an unstable internet connection. Another negative consequences of ICT in English language teaching is possibility of an over reliance on technology, which can lead to redundant in traditional literacy skills. What I try to mean is grammar checkers and other tools may cause pupils to lose sight of proper spelling and grammar, and pupils become overly reliant on these tools that they may lose their ability to proofread on their own and instead become reliant on automatic corrections, which eventually weakening their foundation on language skills. Moreover, pupils may be dissuaded from using the conventional method of drafting and editing their writing work by the simplicity of digital writing tools. And it's possible that the convenience of this editing on a digital device overrides the requirement for thorough preparation and analytical thought of pupils when they are writing. This change could impair pupils' writing abilities and cause them to write more quickly but less thoughtfully. The third challenge would be over dependency of ICT in ELT may have a negative impact on pupils' critical thinking skill and creativity. According to South and Laudari in 2023, they warn that excessive screen time and passive digital content consumption may impair pupils' ability to think critically and also creatively. If pupils simply absorb information from digital resources without actively evaluating or interpreting it, they run the risk of only having a passing understanding of the subject matter. The internet's wealth of easily accessible information may also discourage independent research and also the development of problem solving techniques among pupils. Instead of applying critical thinking skills, the pupils might over rely on rapid internet searches for solutions. The development of critical thinking abilities, which are necessary for long life learning and for their academic success, may be hampered by this reliance on instant information. Last but not least, challenge of lack of pedagogical expertise among teachers to effectively use ICTs can also impact the pupils' learning outcome. Teachers who want to effectively integrate ICT in their English education must have a solid foundation in digital literacy and also pedagogy. However, a lack of professional development opportunities and training present a challenge for many teachers in this era. So, teachers require continuous assistance in order to acquire the abilities and also the self assurance in order to successfully incorporate and implement ICT into their lesson plans. The opportunities of ICT for pupils may be limited if teachers are lack of the necessary training to utilize the most of ICT tools. The quick speed of technological advancement and the ongoing need to adjust to new resources and programs can also overwhelm the teachers. And as stated by Zhang in 2022. Due to the lack of participation in training sessions and also workshops, teachers are lack of confidence when it comes to using ICTs in the ELT classrooms. They lack the pedagogical expertise to effectively use ICTs to engage their pupils both inside and outside the classroom by combining in person or online instructions. They are lack of sufficient knowledge of the different programs and websites that teach English that can help pupils to improve their knowledge and language proficiency. So, a large number of pupils that are using ICT for English language learning are at the very basic level. They knew very little about using ICTs for group projects and to honing their English language proficiency as a reflection of inadequacy of their teacher's skill in implementing ICT. Therefore, in order to conclude my presentation, ICT integration in ELT classroom has the potential to completely change the way that English language is taught and learned. It has many opportunities, including creating more engaging lessons for the pupils, increase pupils' motivation through personalized instruction, and promotes peer interaction and collaborative learning. So, teachers need to address the technical issues, over reliance and over dependency of ICT, and lack of pedagogical expertise in order for the ICT opportunities to be fully realized. ICT can be used to enhance English teaching and learning outcomes by striking a balance between its use and conventional teaching methods, offering focused support and interventions, and taking advantage of these opportunities. So, therefore, further studies should be conducted at how ICT affects English language instruction and devise plans to optimize its opportunities and minimize any potential challenges. So, these are my reference list for my presentation. That's all from me. Thank you for listening.